Have you ever felt it? That sudden heaviness in your chest, the strange fog that rolls in for no reason, the energy around you changing like a storm just passed through your spirit? Maybe you've wondered, was that really me? Or did someone send something my way? It's an ancient question, older than every temple, older than scripture itself. Is magic real? Can someone truly harm us with nothing but intention, with envy, with rage, with the mysterious power of the evil eye? Across the world, people have whispered the same story under different names. In one land, they call it the evil eye. In another, voodoo, OB, or black magic. Some speak of psychic attack, others of energy cords, hexes, or thought forms. But beneath all those names lies the same haunting question. Can human thought, pure, invisible thought, cross the distance between two souls and change reality? Science doesn't give easy answers to that. It measures waves, particles, frequencies, yet somehow it still can't explain the mystery of intention. And so, we stand between two worlds, the mystical and the measurable. Between what we feel and what we can prove. But here's where the real story begins. Because the truth, as both ancient mystics and modern thinkers have quietly agreed, is that everything in existence is vibration. And every vibration has resonance. In other words, what we send out, we eventually meet again. And what we tune into, we invite into our field. So maybe, just maybe, magic isn't as unreal as we've been told. Maybe it's not wands or potions, but focus, emotion, and energy. And maybe, the ones who understand it, for better or worse, are simply those who've learned how to direct their intention with precision. But before we dive into superstition, fear, or folklore, we need to go deeper. Because behind every shadow of black magic lies something even more powerful, the truth about consciousness itself. In the teachings of the ancient yogis, the world is not solid, it only appears to be. Underneath the illusion of form, they say, everything is a dance of vibrations, rippling through the subtle fabric of creation. When Paramahansa Yogananda spoke about this, he didn't use words like curse or magic. He called it vibration of thought, and he explained that thought is energy, as real as electricity, as measurable as sound, as powerful as light. Every human being, he said, carries an aura, a magnetic field woven from consciousness itself. When we think with love, our aura expands and brightens. When we harbor anger, fear, or jealousy, it contracts, and sends out ripples that touch everything around us. Yogananda once compared the mind to a radio station. You're constantly broadcasting, whether you know it or not. The frequency you send is the frequency you live in, and that frequency determines what you attract. Now, if that's true, then yes, a mind vibrating with hatred could theoretically project that energy outward. It could affect those who are receptive to the same vibration, those whose fear or doubt tune them into the same wavelength. But Yogananda's message wasn't one of fear. He taught the opposite, that divine consciousness is absolute protection. When you raise your vibration through prayer, meditation, or devotion, your aura becomes luminous and untouchable. He said, no darkness can exist in the presence of light. If you live in the consciousness of God, no evil vibration can touch you. To Yogananda, the evil eye wasn't superstition, it was misdirected energy. And energy, he said, always obeys higher law. That means a pure, loving thought instantly dissolves a dark one. A single moment of divine awareness cancels hours of negativity. Because in the realm of vibration, the higher always governs the lower. So while some may send anger or envy, your job, as a conscious soul, is to remain above that frequency. Not to fight, not to fear, but to stay so centered in light that you simply can't be reached. In this way, Yogananda brought an ancient mystery into clear truth. You are not powerless against energy. You are energy. And the greater your awareness of that truth, the less anything outside you can ever control your fate. Long before words like energy or vibration were spoken, the priests of ancient Egypt were already working with them, though they called it something different. They called it Heka, the breath of creation, the living power behind every word, thought, and sound. In their world, magic wasn't superstition. It was knowledge, a science of the invisible. To speak a sacred word was to command the universe's very fabric, because in Egypt, every syllable carried spiritual frequency. The gods themselves, they believed, were manifestations of divine vibration. Thoth, the god of wisdom, ruled over words and symbols because he understood that creation itself was spoken into being. Isis, the mother goddess, embodied protection. Her energy was invoked by those seeking safety from unseen harm. Her wings, carved on temple walls, weren't just decoration. They symbolized the invisible shield of light that surrounds those in divine alignment. Egyptian initiates learned to maintain that light through ritual and awareness. To them, protection wasn't about fighting darkness, it was about staying attuned to divine harmony. The evil eye, or destructive intention, was seen as a force of imbalance, a vibration that could only enter a person who had fallen out of tune with their higher self. So temples were built not only for worship, but to fine-tune energy. They sang hymns in precise tones, chanted sacred names, and bathed in moonlight reflected from pools of still water. Each act was a calibration, a way of keeping their vibration clear. And in the hieroglyphs, you'll see it over and over. The Eye of Horus, the Wedjot, painted on amulets and tombs. Most people today think of it as protection from the evil eye, but its deeper meaning is balance. The right and left, the sun and moon, the physical and spiritual united into one seeing. It reminded them that true power isn't in repelling darkness, it's in remembering that you are light. Even the pharaohs wore energy symbols, ankhs for life force, scarabs for transformation, serpents for wisdom. Each one meant to strengthen the subtle body, what we'd now call the aura. When we look back, it's clear, Egypt didn't fear energy. They mastered it. Their magic was awareness, and their greatest spell was harmony. There's a symbol you've seen 1,000 times, blue glass, shaped like an eye, catching the sunlight in doorways and jewelry across the world. In Turkey, they call it Nazar. In Greece, Mahdi. In the Middle East, Ain al-Hasad, the eye of envy. Everywhere, it means the same thing. Protection from a glance charged with dark intention. The belief is ancient. It says that when someone looks at you with jealousy, resentment, or obsession, their gaze becomes a weapon. That emotion, if strong enough, can pierce your energy field and cause misfortune, fatigue, or loss. Even in the oldest writings of Mesopotamia and Babylon, clay tablets spoke of the eye that brings ruin. And yet, this fear of the gaze wasn't just about superstition. It revealed something deeper, the human recognition that attention itself has power. Think about it. Every act of looking is an act of directing energy. When someone admires you with love, you feel it, your heart lifts. When someone stares with contempt, you feel that too, a tightening in your chest, a sudden self-doubt. So perhaps the ancients weren't wrong. Perhaps they were simply describing, in their own poetic way, the energetic impact of human emotion and focus. The Greeks believed the evil eye was strongest when someone was praised too much. A baby too beautiful, a man too lucky, a woman too radiant, and so, they'd quietly whisper FTOU FTOU FTOU, a little spit to break the spell. It wasn't the gesture that mattered, but the reset of energy. A quick clearing, a reminder that beauty and success are best wrapped in humility. In Islam, the Prophet Muhammad warned of the evil eye too, saying, "The evil eye is real, and if anything were to overtake destiny, it would be the evil eye." But he also gave the cure: recitation, remembrance, and trust in God. Because again, light dissolves shadow. In the Jewish Kabbalah, too, the idea appears. The eye in Hara, the harmful gaze, yet its remedy is awareness, compassion, and the blessing of others. So across every culture, one truth echoes. Energy can be directed, yes, but energy can also be redirected. Protection isn't found in fear of the eye, but in strengthening the light behind your own. The Nazar bead, the blue circle, isn't merely an ornament. It's a mirror, reminding you that the only gaze that truly defines you is your own awareness, looking inward. If there is one tradition the world has most feared and most misunderstood, it's voodoo. The very word has been twisted into something dark and cinematic, but its true meaning is far more sacred. Voodoo comes from the Fon language of West Africa. It means spirit, the invisible essence that connects all things. When enslaved Africans were torn from their lands and taken across the oceans, they carried that sacred science in their hearts. On new soil, in Haiti, in Jamaica, in Louisiana, it evolved, mixing with Catholic saints, indigenous beliefs, and the raw memories of ancestral magic. To those who practiced it, voodoo was never black magic. It was balance, a way to speak with the spirit world, to heal, to protect, to restore what had been broken. Every drumbeat, every chant, every offering was an act of energy alignment, the same kind of vibrational awareness taught by yogis and mystics on the other side of the world. The Obeah men and women of the Caribbean were healers, herbalists, and protectors. They worked with nature's energy, plants, wind, water, sound, to harmonize the unseen forces of life. Their power wasn't in curses, but in understanding how consciousness and nature mirror one another. But when colonizers saw these rituals, the dancing, the chanting, the possession by spirit, they didn't see prayer. They saw power, and power outside their control terrified them. So voodoo became dark. Obeah became forbidden. Yet through whispers and songs, through secret ceremonies beneath the moon, the people remembered, spirit cannot be conquered. Yes, there were rituals to repel harm, to send energy back where it came from. But more often, those rituals were acts of defense, not attack. A mirror of the same truth we've seen in every tradition. That intention defines energy. An Obeah worker might burn herbs and say, "Greater than, if it is not mine, may it return." That's not vengeance, that's spiritual justice. Even in Haitian voodoo, when invoking the Loa, the divine intermediaries, the intention determines everything. To call upon light is to invite protection. To act from anger is to fall under the weight of your own vibration. Because in the end, these traditions, too, knew the universal law. Whatever energy you send into the world must pass through your own spirit first. Voodoo and Obeah were never the enemies of God. They were languages of God, spoken in rhythm, flame, and trance. And like every true spiritual path, they whisper the same message: power without love is self-destruction. But power with love is divine creation. From the deserts of ancient Israel to the high minarets of Arabia, the question of spiritual harm and divine protection has always been present. The scriptures of the Abrahamic faiths are filled with stories where intention, spoken word, and faith itself become living forces. In the Old Testament, the power of the spoken word is clear. Life and death are said to lie in the tongue. A blessing is not just a kind wish, it is a decree of alignment with divine will. A curse, by contrast, is the misuse of that same creative power. The ancient prophets often warned that those who curse others bring that vibration back upon themselves, because all energy returns to its source. What you speak into the world becomes your companion. The Psalms, still recited for protection today, were believed to carry vibration through sacred sound. The name of the divine, repeated with faith, was seen as a shield that made the heart untouchable. Many of these verses are, in truth, vibrational formulas, early mantras meant to harmonize the soul with the higher order of life. In Christian mysticism, that theme continues. Christ taught that no external darkness can overpower the light within. He said, "Do not resist evil, but overcome evil with good." These words are not about passivity, they are about understanding frequency. Fighting darkness only feeds it. Radiating love dissolves it. To bless those who curse you is not weakness, it is energetic mastery. In Islam, the Prophet Muhammad acknowledged the reality of the evil eye, saying that envy can indeed affect the soul. Yet he offered a simple remedy: remembrance of God, purity of heart, and reciting specific verses from the Quran, such as Al-Falaq and An-Nas. These verses call upon divine light to surround the believer and cut all cords of ill will. In Sufi practice, this is known as dhikr, the remembrance that transforms fear into light. And within Judaism, the Kabbalists teach that the true protection lies in consciousness itself. When a person lives in awareness of the infinite, they rise above the realm of polarity where good and evil struggle. They exist in the middle pillar, balanced, clear, and luminous. Across all these Abrahamic paths, the message repeats in different tongues. No curse can thrive in a heart that remembers the divine. Faith is the highest frequency. Love is the true armor. In the Sufi tradition, protection has never been about armor or defense. It is about remembrance. They call it dhikr, the repetition of divine names until the self melts into the beloved. To the Sufi, there is no enemy outside. The only battle is within, between forgetfulness and awareness. When the great mystic Rumi spoke of darkness, he did not warn of curses or spells. He said, "Darkness is your candle." In his vision, even pain and fear are gateways to awakening. The more deeply you remember love, the less shadow can survive within you. Because shadow cannot live where light is remembered. Sufis believe that every human heart contains a secret chamber where the light of God burns eternally. When that light is awakened through devotion, it radiates outward, filling the aura with such brilliance that no lower energy can attach. They call this the heart mirror, polished through prayer, poetry, and surrender. In their rituals, they do not repel evil, they sing it away. The whirling dervishes spin to dissolve the self, turning until ego and fear are lost in rhythm and motion. Their dance is a moving meditation, a declaration that only divine love is real. Every rotation whispers, there is no power but the power of the One. Eastern mystics across India, Tibet, and China speak the same language, though with different words. The yogi sits in meditation and imagines the divine flame within his heart expanding in all directions, forming a shield of light. The Buddhist chants mantras that harmonize the mind with universal compassion. The Taoist cultivates Kai, letting energy flow in balance, never stagnant, never resistant. In all these paths, protection comes not from walls, but from openness. The more deeply you surrender to the divine current, the less you can be touched by lower vibrations. It's not a fight, it's a frequency shift. The masters say that evil intention can only reach what still vibrates with fear. But once the heart is filled with love, the game ends. Light has no opponent. Darkness was never a force, it was only the absence of remembering. And so, the mystic does not fear curses. They simply close their eyes, breathe deeply, and remember the truth. I am not this body. I am not this mind. I am the light behind both. That remembrance alone becomes the greatest protection of all. For thousands of years, humanity has lived between two realities, the visible world and the unseen. We sense energies, we feel atmospheres, and when something goes wrong, we search for the cause behind the curtain. Sometimes, that cause seems to come from others, a jealous glance, a cruel word, a strange heaviness that appears after conflict. But often, the real power behind these experiences lies not in the sender, but in the receiver. The human mind is the most powerful transmitter and receiver of energy on earth. Every belief we hold shapes our perception of what's real. If someone truly believes that a curse can harm them, their body, emotions, and energy field respond as if it were true. The fear itself becomes the vibration that attracts the very thing they dread. This isn't superstition, it's psychology. When you focus intensely on something, your nervous system begins to mirror that focus. Thoughts trigger chemistry, fear releases hormones, the body tightens, energy contracts, and the aura weakens. In that lowered state, people often interpret normal challenges, a lost key, a bad day, a headache, as proof of being cursed. The mind connects the dots, and belief seals the pattern. But when a person feels safe, aligned, and spiritually aware, the opposite happens. Their energy expands, their frequency rises. They interpret events from a place of clarity rather than fear. A simple shift in belief can completely rewrite their experience. This is why so many traditions emphasize faith as protection. Faith is not blind trust, it's a higher neurological and energetic state. It tells your mind and body, I am safe. And once that command is accepted, every cell and vibration in your being harmonizes with that safety. Psychologists studying placebo and nocebo effects have discovered the same principle. A belief in healing can trigger measurable biological improvement. A belief in harm can cause real symptoms, even without any external cause. Thought, feeling, and physiology are woven together. So yes, sometimes people do feel attacked by energy, but often, what they are feeling is the echo of their own fear, amplified by imagination and collective belief. The curse becomes a mirror reflecting the power of the mind itself. The truth is humbling and liberating at once. We are never as powerless as we think. The very belief that makes us vulnerable can also make us invincible. All it takes is a shift from fear to awareness, from superstition to sovereignty. Because consciousness is the true magic, and what we believe, we become. For centuries, mystics spoke of unseen forces shaping our reality, vibrations, thoughts, fields of energy that move beyond the senses. Modern science, in its own language, has begun to confirm what the ancients always knew. That beneath matter lies movement, frequency, and pure potential. Quantum physics tells us that the universe is not made of solid particles, but of energy waves constantly interacting with one another. At the smallest scale, nothing is truly separate. Every atom hums with vibration, every thought has an electromagnetic signature. The field that surrounds and connects everything, what scientists call the quantum field, behaves almost exactly like what mystics have described for thousands of years as the spirit realm. When you focus your attention on something, your brain and heart emit measurable electromagnetic waves. That focus changes your physiology, but it also interacts with the energy around you. It's subtle, invisible, but real. This is why intention, prayer, or even emotion can have tangible effects, not because they defy science, but because they are science, just at a level we're only beginning to understand. Dr. Joe Dispenza calls this energy before matter. Yogananda called it vibration before form. Different words, same truth. Consciousness organizes reality. Now, this doesn't mean someone's dark thought can instantly reach across the world and harm you. The universe doesn't work like a simple spellbook. It operates on resonance. For energy to interact, there must be a matching frequency. Fear connects with fear. Love connects with love. This is why an open, loving, elevated state of being becomes natural protection, not through defense, but through incompatibility. Lower vibrations simply can't exist in the higher field. When two frequencies meet, the stronger one always dominates. If you hold your energy steady in calm awareness, the chaotic energy of another cannot destabilize you. The wave collapses back into balance. In that sense, magic is not superstition. It's alignment. It's learning how to tune your thoughts, your heart, and your energy into harmony with the field of life itself. Every emotion, every word, every silent prayer ripples outward, and those ripples interact with the infinite ocean around us. The ancients used rituals to achieve this tuning. We use meditation, breathwork, and mindfulness. But the principle is the same. We are not victims of invisible forces, we are participants in them. And the moment you realize that, the fear dissolves. Because suddenly, you remember. The most powerful energy in this universe is the one moving through you right now, the consciousness aware of itself. Across every tradition, there's a common vision of protection that doesn't come from charms or rituals, but from light. The ancients saw it as a living geometry of spirit, a crystalline energy field surrounding the body like wings made of stars. The Egyptians called it the chariot of light. In Hebrew mysticism, it became known as the Merkaba, a word meaning vehicle, or to ride. To activate the Merkaba is to awaken your inner chariot, the radiant field that carries consciousness between worlds. It is the ultimate symbol of spiritual sovereignty. Yogis call it the subtle body, Tibetan lamas see it as the rainbow body, and modern metaphysicians describe it as a star tetrahedron of spinning light surrounding the human form. Though the language differs, the essence is the same. You are surrounded by a field that mirrors your state of consciousness. When you live in fear, the field contracts. When you live in love, it expands. When you meditate on peace, it becomes luminous, fluid, and self-organizing, a shield of coherence. Many mystics describe how this field naturally strengthens through breath and visualization. You can close your eyes, take a slow breath in, and imagine golden light entering your chest. As you exhale, that light grows outward, surrounding you in spheres of white, blue, or gold. With every heartbeat, the field becomes clearer, brighter, stronger, until you feel weightless inside it. This is not fantasy, it is energetic physics. Harmath researchers have shown that the heart's electromagnetic field extends several feet beyond the body, and that emotions of love or gratitude instantly make that field more ordered. Order creates strength. Coherence becomes protection. The aura, in this sense, isn't a wall. It's a frequency bubble that keeps you in harmony with what matches your vibration. When it's radiant, only energies that resonate with peace can reach you. Lower vibrations are simply neutralized, unable to find a foothold. The Merkaba is that same principle, expressed at the soul's highest level, a reminder that your consciousness can travel anywhere, untouched by darkness. It's your light body, your original form, the bridge between heaven and earth. So when people speak of psychic attacks or curses, remember, no one can break through the walls of light you consciously maintain. You don't need to fight or defend. You only need to remember. Every breath of love you take rebuilds the chariot. Every moment of awareness spins the geometry of light around you faster and brighter. And when it's fully active, you no longer protect yourself, you simply shine so powerfully that nothing of a lower vibration can remain. The greatest shield in the universe is not armor. It's radiance. After all the stories, symbols, and sacred science, one question remains. Why do some people seem to be affected by dark intention, while others walk untouched, as if surrounded by invisible grace? The answer isn't found in rituals or superstition. It's found in consciousness. Everything in this universe responds to vibration. What you hold in your energy field determines what can reach you. A mind filled with fear and suspicion naturally tunes into lower frequencies, not because it's bad, but because fear itself is a dense vibration. It attracts experiences that validate it. You expect harm, and the world seems to echo that expectation. But when the mind awakens, when it begins to rest in trust, clarity, and divine awareness, the entire frequency changes. You stop resonating with fear. You stop living in the same layer of reality where such forces exist. This is why saints, mystics, and enlightened beings remain calm in the face of hostility. It's not that they're lucky or immune. It's that they no longer vibrate in the same range where malice operates. They lie from the heart, and the heart is above polarity. The truth is that intention can affect others, but only within the bounds of shared vibration. It's resonance, not control. No one can force their will upon you without your energetic permission. That permission often comes unconsciously, through fear, doubt, or guilt. When you heal those inner openings, the channels close, and your energy becomes whole again. Psychologically, the belief in curses or evil eyes can be powerful because belief itself is creative. The mind paints meaning onto neutral events. But the same power that gives fear its shape can also give faith its strength. When you believe in your light, your worth, your divine connection, that belief reshapes reality too. So the truth, stripped of myth but still glowing with mystery, is this. Yes, thoughts are real. Yes, energy moves. But no darkness can persist in a consciousness that knows itself as light. You are not at the mercy of unseen forces. You are the force. You are the observer, the field, and the frequency that defines what enters your world. When you remember that, the entire illusion of being attacked dissolves. Because you see through it. You stand in your radiance and realize, the only true magic is consciousness itself. And that is the quiet secret the ancients tried to tell us all along. What protects you is not your charm, your chant, or your crystal. It is the simple knowing that you are made of light. And light, pure, remembering light, cannot be harmed.